Hey, everybody. We're live. Welcome back to the new and experienced investor podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Alex Barnett. I'm the new guy.
And my name is Joe Holmes, and I'm the old guy, I guess.
You're the experienced
one.
one.
Experienced guy, yes.
That's
okay.
right. Today we're going to be talking about lead generation. This is something everybody, I think, that reaches out to us has a question about. How do I get these leads? Whether you're an agent, you're an investor, doing anything in real estate, how do we get these leads? And I kind of wanted to bring it up because in my own business, I'm kind of pivoting and doing some different things with the changing market, different interest rates. What would you say is the starting point to generate leads for a new investor?
Doing something.
You saying people don't do things?
No, they don't do things. They don't do things. It's taking action, and whether that's pulling a list from a source of, let's say, absentee owners, or in my case, I've been recruiting real estate agents to Pelago, and I literally just set up a text campaign, texting everybody here in the Orange County area. Hired about 10 people from that text campaign, and I'm moving now into Riverside, and I'll continue to do that. But it's literally taking action is what I would say. It's the hardest thing for people to do.
How big of a list was the list that you pulled of agents since you signed up 10?
I think there is about, I want to say about 10,000 agents.
Yeah.
It took about, I would say, close to 2 months to go through all that, because I just can't text 10,000 people in one day, because that's not going to work. They're going to cut you off. So you text a few people every day, and then the people that are interested respond. It sends them another text with the information, and then I follow up with them the next day. Hey, you expressed an interest, and do you have any further questions? And go from there.
Yeah.
So.
And I think that's something people really underestimate, is the amount of volume that you kind of need when you're doing your lead generation, your outreach. So you can do, there's sort of two different styles of lead generation. You can do outbound, which is the cold calling and the texting or sending direct mail. And, that's sort of an unsolicited reach out. Or you can do inbound, which people are starting to really dive into, which is the Facebook ads, the PPC, anything like that, to where people are filling out a form and then you're calling them later. So depending on, your style, what you like, and then I'm really seeing, just depending on the market, you may want to pivot back and forth from each one. Obviously, cold calling is tried and true. No matter what business you're in, that's just pulling a list and, dialing these numbers. But again, I think when people reach out to you and they're like, I want to get a deal, this or that, they're thinking they have to call 100 people and they're going to get a deal. You have to be calling like thousands of people.
Absolutely. It's a numbers game. Absolutely. And, also depends on your budget. When you pull lists, there's a charge for doing that. And you don't get everything with that list that you pull. You have to skip trace them and get their phone numbers. You can even skip trace and get emails. With the pay-per-click stuff, it is pretty much voluntary that they click on it, and then obviously they charge you when they click. And then if you have a form to fill out, they charge you an additional fee for that. So depending on how much you have in that form to fill out, Google and Facebook and all the rest of them will charge you additional fees for that stuff. So it really kind of depends what your budget is and what you're looking to do and how much you're willing to spend. But to answer your question, yes, you have to mass market to people, and then be ready to take the warm leads instead of the negative ones that you do get as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's kind of one thing I'm really looking into right now, because we would just do a blanketed absentee owner list, just somebody that has a property that they're not living in, that is a rental or a vacation property or what have you, and then marketing to them. But now I'm noticing because the interest rates are so high and they have a low one, they just don't want to move right now. They just don't want to move on. They don't want to sell. So I'm going to be pivoting towards more niche lists and doing what's called list stacking. So finding an absentee owner and then matching that with pre-foreclosure, maybe vacant property, and you can pull all three of those lists, and then you can use software to line them up, and then it says, yo, this person's on like 4 lists. Got it. And then really honing in, texting, calling, and then if they're local, knocking on their door.
Yeah.
So that's one thing I'm kind of thinking about pivoting towards, especially with the texting. I know we've been dabbling into the pre-foreclosure, and I want to double down on that as well, and auctions and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a good list. What lists have you seen over the years, I guess, that are just tried and true? If people had to pick one,
I'd say, what I call the low-hanging fruit is what you were talking about. It's pre-foreclosure. So these are people that have stopped making their mortgage payment, and so the bank sends out a notice of default letter, and that gets recorded, and that's public record. And it's like these people are raising their hands and are saying, hey, I need help. Whether they want to listen to the help that you're giving them or offering them, that's a different story. But those are the easiest ones to go after because, you already know that they're having difficulty. They're going to get foreclosed on. Foreclosure process is 3 months and 21 days. So there's a time frame that they need to get something done. If not, they're going to lose their property, and whatever equity that's left in their property is going to be gone. So there's more of an urgency with those type of leads than with just pulling an absentee owner lead and literally just calling and saying, hey, I'm an investor in the area and I bought a couple of places down from you. Are you interested in selling your home? That's like really, really cold. That's ice cold.
That's cold.
That's ice cold. But sometimes they answer yes.
Yeah, I mean, it works. It's worked for me the whole time I started wholesaling. I think that people maybe just have a misconception of how long it can take, and it's hard to tell when you're doing the really cold outreach. You're going to have a deal in X or, 30, 60, 90 days because it all depends on how much you're putting into it. So that's something to consider.
Yeah, absolutely.
Before we move on, make sure you guys share this. We're starting to do lives every Thursday between 3 and 4 p.m. So share this with anybody that's looking to get into investing or is already an investor. We bring on guests. We talk about, topics of the month, and you guys can also reach out to us and, if you have a question or anything that we can bring up on the show, that would be great. But go to YouTube. We're going to be streaming on Facebook as well, and just click the little share button and, send it to a friend or put it on your page. Another list that I've been seeing people go after is no equity lists.
Mm-hmm.
So ones that are on the market and then just pitching the agent a sub 2.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, when you lay it out to them and they, for whatever reason, they bought a property like a year and a half ago, they got to sell, there's no equity in it, they're going to come out of pocket with that. But maybe they have a really good interest rate. So I've been seeing some people go after those, and I think that's a list we're going to.
And those are more of an education process, not only for the seller, but really for the listing agent as well.
Mm-hmm.
Is like, okay, what is subject to, what is owner financing? And you sit there and I've heard you on the phone, you're sitting there and explaining, to an agent what is subject to and how do I do that and how do I benefit from that? Because that's what everybody wants is some sort of benefit. When there's little or no equity, it's a little difficult to put the deal together. But I mean, if you have somebody like, on our buyers list of somebody that's actually looking for a home to move into, and they have the ability to move into it for $20,000-$30,000, which pays us our fees and maybe the other agent's fees and stuff like that,
right?
And not have to qualify for a loan,
and
literally just take over the payment, the existing payment that's on there. those are attractive deals. So yeah, it takes a little bit more explaining,
Sure.
and the logistics, and this is how you're supposed to do it. But those are really good deals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. And it's funny because, just being in the community of like creative financing, people will post the responses that they get from agents, and they'll say like, I sent this over to my broker. This is illegal. You can't do this. I told my client I wouldn't, not to go for it. Yeah. And so I think what people start with is, hey, we're going to pay your commission up front. You're still getting that.
Yeah.
And then we'll actually put some money into the pocket of the seller. And then, if there's enough spread, obviously you can wholesale the deal, or like you said, find an end buyer, like a family that wants to move into it that maybe has the resources as far as down payment, but, for whatever reason they can't qualify. So,
correct. Yeah. I mean, they can't qualify for a 7% loan, but, the loan that's on there is at 3.5%, 4%. They can qualify for that, so. Yeah, why not put that type of deal together and make everybody happy?
Yeah. So that's another list I'm going after. I was going to go after and try expired listings or, failed listings, just to, reach back out, because those people at one point did raise their hand and say they wanted to sell, but for whatever reason, they couldn't make it happen. So I'm going to be going after that. And then, like we mentioned, pre-foreclosures. And I'm trying to think of anything else sort of with the changing market of there being less people wanting to sell. It's really just, I think, niching down and finding people that are already raising their hand.
Yeah. The expired listings I don't go after those because they're just like so difficult.
Okay.
And the reason they're difficult is, number one, if it expired, it probably was listed too high to begin with. And the listing agent just could not talk these people down to a reasonable price, because obviously everybody knows more than the listing agent in a transaction. Yeah. And so when it expires, literally the next day, within hours, agents get an email alert if they're subscribed to expired listing company. And there's agents literally calling. I had one agent, she told me she has these baskets prepared that she would literally drop off
at the
house. Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
To try to get that listing again.
Wow.
I never went that far, but, I would make calls, and it's like, you're the 20th person that has called me today, and no, I don't want to list my house, and, bad mouth the listing agent. And, it really wasn't deserved. It was them that had the issue, and not the listing agent themselves.
Yeah.
But, you can only do so much, and that's why I don't go after them. And if you want to try, believe me, try. Like I tell people all the time, it's your money. You can spend it however you want. I don't do mailers either.
Right.
Because mailers, you what do you do when you get a piece of mail at your home? I mean, when I get it, it literally goes straight into the trash can. I don't even look at it.
Yeah.
I mean, I can tell, especially if it's, generated by a computer or something. It's not handwritten.
Yeah.
I can tell that, it's going to be, somebody soliciting me for something or something like that. It's just like, it just goes into trash. So, again, it's your money. You can spend it however you like.
Yeah.
If you want to take my advice and my experience, don't do mailers.
Yeah. And it's funny because you can always find the success story for each of these. And I think it just comes down to maybe what is your personality, what's your threshold for rejection. Because if you can't take a no, then maybe inbound is more of your bag, because these are people that are saying, I do want an offer, and maybe there's no deal, but there's actually people that are saying, I at least want an offer. So I know some people, they're just like, I can't handle the no, the rejection every time to get to the yes, so I'd rather do inbound.
Oh yeah, you definitely have to have thick skin.
Yeah.
I get, from my text campaign to the agents, I get people that respond. And then I get on the phone with them, and why would I go to you? I'm a broker already. What do I go to you for? And I'm thinking, well, why'd you say yes? You wanted to, talk to me. It's like, come on, it's like,
they were baiting you.
What? You just wanted to talk to me to tell me that you would never come, work for me?
They wanted to shut you down.
Like, wow. It's like, okay, have a nice day.
Right.
Let's move on to the next one.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And it kind of builds your skin after going through it, even just starting out. When I first called, I was so scared to talk to anybody. And then now it's, if it doesn't work, it's just.
And now we can't get you off the phone. Every time I walk in the office, he's on the phone with somebody. And it's like I sit in my office and listen to him for like half hour, 45 minutes. And this guy hasn't really said anything about the property. It's all about his life and how hard it was and the reason he got into this.
Yeah.
There's so much rapport building, but
45
minutes is like, I'm telling you, I'm going like
this
to Alex.
Like, you could call someone else.
Call somebody else.
Yeah.
This one's done.
Yeah.
Move on. And then you have those guys, the smart aleck guys. I actually like them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe, I'll sell you the property. You give me $1 million. You put it in a duffel bag. You go over to the local park. You put it in the trash can there, and you text me when it's there. I'll come pick it up, and I'll sell it to you right away.
Oh my gosh.
Okay. Yeah, let's do that.
Right,
let's do that.
Yeah, if you have a sense of humor, I'll play ball.
Yeah.
You got to have fun with it. But like you said, going back to budget, this could be something if you're just starting out. If you have the budget, let's say you're working a W-2 job, you can just go on. There's certain websites where they have marketplaces of leads where people are already having PPC campaigns, and it will, it'll show you like, hey, there's a lead here that you can purchase, and they're usually between like $300 to $400, depending on your market. If you're in like Muncie, Indiana, it'll probably go down to like $100. But, in the bigger markets, you're going to spend about $300. So maybe you have the funds. You can just go and purchase leads and talk to those sellers, and, they'll list out all of the motivation and everything, and someone has already done a first touch. So, depending on your budget, you can really... There's a lot of different ways that you can go as far as lead generation goes.
Yes, but I've always found that if you start from the bottom and do your own, you're way better off.
Yeah.
There's real estate companies out there. I won't mention their names, but they market to real estate agents all the time. And here, pay us $700 a month, and we'll send you leads that we get on our website. And they turn out to be really junk leads, And it's like, yeah, you're going to have to go through all that stuff, but yeah, do I want to pay $700 a month for some junk leads that I'm going to get from these companies? No, I don't do that. I just rather kind of, learn how to do it yourself and do it yourself. It's not that difficult.
Yeah, it's really not. Yeah, it's just being consistent. That's the hardest thing for people.
Yeah, and doing it.
Yeah, doing it.
And doing. Just make a plan. Okay, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to wake up in the morning and I'm going to start calling at 10 and go to 12. Or I'm going to hire a virtual assistant, cost $4, $5, $6 an hour. And I'm going to give them the list, and they're going to call because they can call a lot more people than you can. They can probably go through 100 people in an hour, and just literally just instruct them. I just want the yeses. Okay, just as you're calling, hey, we're calling from, such and such a company, and we're looking to buy homes in your area. We're looking to pay cash. Are you interested in selling? I mean, even totally cold call leads. And if they say yes, okay, great, fantastic. Let me connect you with one of our representatives, and he'll call you back. And then that lead comes back to Alex, and then Alex follows up on that lead. So a lot of times you don't even need to talk to the negative people up front. You let somebody else do that.
Yep.
I always say, do everything in the beginning so that at least you learn what people are saying and how they're saying it. And then it just makes it, easier for yourself at the end of the day, especially if you have to train somebody else. These are the issues that you're going to run into. And, if this happens, and do this, if this happens, and do that. And at the end of the day, when you get a yes, okay, we got a yes. We got a warm lead that says, yes, I'm interested in talking to somebody. So you start talking to them.
Yeah. And I think the biggest thing is your speed to lead. So if you're texting or if someone's filling out something on your web form, when you get that in, you want to get to them as quickly as possible.
Absolutely, yes.
Because they're saying in that moment, I'm thinking about selling, and then you can really dig into, what's going on. And then before they start reaching out to all these other people as well. So, that's one thing I would say. If you are spending money on leads, do a service to yourself and really be diligent about reaching back to these people, qualifying, disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying. So the sooner you can do that, don't do what I do. Don't sit on the phone with them. Say, I don't think this is going to work.
Yeah.
And then, put them on a follow-up campaign, which is another big part of it as well.
Yes.
Because
having all your systems in place is very important. Yeah. Follow-up is extremely important. Extremely important. I mean, I was talking to an agent this morning, and she's starting to do door knocking. She's doing on notice of defaults, and she called me for some advice this morning, and she says, I keep kicking myself because, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and then I don't know exactly what to do after that.
It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, we just I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I go, you have to have everything I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I go, you have to have everything I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
So I'm kicking myself because, and they go, I get these leads, and I get these people to say yes, and I don't know exactly what
disqualifying. It's going to be a ton of disqualifying.
Where's the thought process? Did you think about it? You ready to go?
Oh yeah. Got to be persistent.
Where's the thought process? Did you think about it?
The double tap, the double call. What's your limit on the amount of times you'll call somebody in a row? Got to be before you get a hold of them.
Where's the thought process? Did you think about it?
The double tap, the double just call once. What's your limit on the amount of times you'll call somebody in a row? Got to be before you get a hold of them.
Where's the thought process? Did you think
The double tap, the double just call once. What's your limit on the amount of times Before you get a hold of it. Double tap. Double just call it once. What's your negotiator? Right. Yeah, exactly. Before you get a hold of it. Double tap. Double just call it once. What's your negotiator? Right. Yeah, exactly. Before you get a hold of it. Double tap. Double just call it once. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Double tap. Double just call it once. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Double tap. Double just call it once. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Somewhere $5. Double tap. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Somewhere $5. Double tap. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Somewhere $5. Double tap. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Somewhere $5. Double tap. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Somewhere $5. Double tap. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Somewhere $5. Double tap. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Somewhere $5. Double tap. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Somewhere $5. Double tap. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Somewhere $5. What's your negotiator? Let's say, yeah, exactly. Before following up with the seller. Somewhere $5. What's your negotiator? That was one thing people said you called me. So I'll change my number. So you gotta get creative out there. And what's funny is that was one thing people said the whole night. So I'll change my number. Oh, actually, I'm gonna turn it to a So you gotta get creative out there. And what's funny is that was one thing people said the whole not necessarily. No, not. I mean, I don't want to.
You have the big heart.
Yeah,
You have the big heart.
I realize it can be. That was one thing we said, not necessarily. No, not. I mean, I don't want to. No, yeah.
You have the big heart.
I realize it. And I have a drip campaign now where if somebody reaches back out. No, not. I mean, I don't want to. No, yeah. I realize it. And I have a drip campaign now where if somebody reaches back out. No, not. I mean, and it's just like, hey, I'm just trying to get a hold of you. Oh, I'm just popping out to lunch real quick. Want to see if I can catch you. Are you around? Somebody seems like you're busy right now, but maybe it's just like check back tomorrow. And the last one oh yeah, no, tomorrow's way better for me, so let's just touch base then. Seems like you're busy right now, but maybe it's just like check back tomorrow in the last minute. Oh yeah, no, tomorrow's way better for me, so let's just touch base then. Seems like you're busy right now, but maybe it's just like check back tomorrow in the last minute. Oh yeah, no, tomorrow's way better for me, so let's just touch base then. Seems like you're busy right now, but maybe it's just like check back tomorrow.
And I've had people,
yeah,
listen like that to me.
yeah, true. Yeah, that is true.
And I've had people that, listen like that to me.
What is WhatsApp? I don't know what
True.
WhatsApp is.
Sorry, I don't use it. So then I know it's like
What is WhatsApp? I don't know what WhatsApp is.
Sorry, I don't use it. So then I know it's like
What is WhatsApp? I don't know what WhatsApp is.
Sorry, I don't use it.
Oh, the spam? It's just a numbers game. It's the same thing. I don't know what the scam is.
I don't know what
Probably
WhatsApp.
Sorry, I don't use it.
Oh, the spam? It's just a numbers game. It's the same thing. I don't know what the scam is.
I don't know what
Probably. No, like you send them. Oh, I have a girlfriend. It's just a numbers game. It's the same thing. I don't know what the scam is.
I don't know what
Probably. No, like you send them. Oh, I have a girlfriend. It's just a numbers game. I don't know what the scam is.
I don't know what
No, like you send them. Oh, I have a girlfriend. It's just a numbers game. I don't know what the scam is.
I don't know what
No, like you send them. Oh, I have a girlfriend. It's just a numbers game. I don't know what the scam is. Oh, yeah. No, like you send them. Oh, I have a girlfriend. It's just a numbers game. Oh yeah. Anyway, that's lead generation. That's still, let's bring it back around. That's their lead. But drop in the comments what leads, what lists are you guys going out? Oh, anyway, that's lead generation. That's still, let's bring it back around. That's their lead. I'm definitely noticing a difference from when I started and everything was hot and everyone was selling. Drop in the comments what leads, what lists are you guys going out? Oh, anyway, that's lead generation. That's still, let's bring it back around. That's their lead. I'm definitely noticing a difference from when I started and everything was hot. But drop in the comments. Sometimes I get stuck on the momentum of just whatever. What lists are you guys going out? I want to be able to kind of stay flexible and see what's working. Oh, anyway, that's lead generation. That's still bring it back around. That's their lead. I'm definitely started and everything was hot. But drop in the comments. Sometimes I get stuck on the momentum.
Most
of just
people
whatever.
need
What lists are you guys going out?
Procrastinators.
Kind of
Procrastinators?
stay flexible,
No, that's
see what's working. Anyway, that's lead generation. That's still bring it back around. That's their lead. I'm definitely started and everything was hot. But drop in the comments. Sometimes I get stuck on the momentum.
Most people
What lists are you guys going out?
in California, maybe we went down 5 or 10%.
Anyway, that's lead generation. That's still bring it back around. That's their lead.
Nowhere.
I'm definitely started and everything was hot. But drop in the comments. Sometimes I get stuck on the momentum.
Yes, we know.
What lists are you guys going out?
In California, maybe we went down. Absolutely. Yeah.
You gotta get the clickbait. Anyway, that's lead generation.
The world is empty.
That's their lead. Click here, find out why. Yeah, someone called me this morning about reminding you. Drop in the comments. Sometimes I get stuck on the momentum.
Yes, we know.
Some guy was like, yeah, foreclosures are up 44%. And then by the end, he was like, but actually, you gotta get the clickbait. Anyway, that's lead generation.
The world is empty.
That's their lead. Click here, find out why. Yeah, someone called me this morning about actually. Drop in the comments. Sometimes I get stuck on the momentum. Exactly. Yeah. And then by the end, but actually, click here, find out why. Yeah. So we had some people pop into the live. I got to figure out how to say chat. You guys, before we wrap up, make sure to share this program every Thursday with guests. But actually, click here, find out why. Yeah. So we had some people pop into the live. I got to figure out how to say chat. You guys, I don't know. Yeah, I got to figure out because they're streaming on a few different platforms. I got to figure out how to get the chat. Click here, find out why. Yeah, so we had some people pop into the live. I got to figure out how to say chat. You guys, I don't know. Yeah, I got to figure out because they're streaming on a few different platforms. I got to figure out how to get the chat. Click here, find out why. Yeah, so we had some people pop into the live. I got to figure out how to say chat. You guys, I don't know. Yeah, I got to figure out because they're streaming on a few different platforms. I got to figure out how to get the chat.
If you want some more advice on real estate investing, reach out to us one-on-one.